Hey guys, welcome back. So today I wanted to talk to you guys about garden pests, specifically aphids, because I am dealing with them right now, and I thought I'd make a quick video to show you guys how I eradicate them in my garden. So before we get started, let's actually talk about what aphids are and how they get into our garden. So aphids are a small, soft body, sap-sucking insect. The way that they usually get into our garden is that there are winged ones that will fly around and find a host plant. So that's your plant. And then they'll lay their larvae everywhere in the plant, and then that colony will just continue populating, and they'll continue flying around and doing the same thing over and over. They're usually green, but there are some species that are white, black, brown, yellow, and red. Generally in my garden, I find the green ones. I haven't ran into the other ones. Sometimes I will get the black ones, but usually it's just the green ones. So let's talk about how they affect your plants. So usually you'll see them on new, tender, soft tissue of plants. So like in our roses, we'll always see them on the new buds. Today we have them on our annuals, which is really different for me because I usually don't experience aphids on annuals. So I'm really surprised, but I do have the perfect solution to get rid of them. But yeah, usually what they'll do, they'll suck the sap out of your plants. So you'll see your plants kind of start looking deformed. In addition, they are vectors for plant viruses in your plants. So again, it's one of those things you really want to get rid of as soon as you can. They also leave behind a honeydew substance, which almost looks like it looks a little sticky and wet, which can also attract ants. But if that honeydew is left on your plants and it starts accumulating over time, it's going to cause a fungus. A sooty mold will start developing on the leaves of your plants, and eventually those leaves will turn black and eventually fall off, and your whole plant can die from it. So again, it's just like a pest. I hate having them in the garden, especially because we put so much time and energy and money into just having beautiful plants, and so to see them kind of take over, I do take it personal and I get very offended by it. So that's why I'm going to show you what I like to do, and hopefully it'll work for you guys as well. All right, let me show you what they look like, and then we'll talk about the product that we're going to be using today. So you can see that they're just kind of hiding under this flower here. And that's usually where you find them, is underneath the leaves and of your blooms. So you want to do a good job at just kind of lifting everything and looking, and especially when we're spraying, that way we're getting all angles and sides of the plant. Okay, so this is the product that we're going to be using today. In the beginning, I did try to use neem oil, which did work temporarily. And the way the oils work is that they land on the bugs and then they suffocate them, which, it did work temporarily, but we noticed that the problem came back really quickly. And also during the spring, when we were just doing our, routine spraying of our fruit trees, so all of our pluots, our plums, our peaches, we used a horticultural spray like we typically do, but there was, it just wasn't working. So we actually talked to somebody at our local nursery, and they recommended using the Rose RX for our trees, for our stone fruit trees. And we have used this before. This is what I use for all of our roses, but I never thought about using it for those guys. And when I did, I noticed the problem went away really quickly. So I think this is like magic. So because only a few of our containers have a problem, we're going to be using this quick on-the-go sprayer. I like it just because, it's quick, it's easy, it's already pre-mixed, and not a lot of our containers have a problem right now. If we are spraying our trees, or if we have like a lot of things that are infected, I'll just go straight to our battery-powered sprayer, just because it's quick, it's easy, and it is more cost effective to get the concentrated. And you'll just do 2 to 4 tablespoons per gallon of the concentrate. And again, so if you have a lot, then I think it's more cost effective to buy this versus the ready to go spray. But these are just some of the pumps that we use. I like the battery powered one the most. There is a pump one, and then there's just a quick handheld one. Another great thing about this product is it's a 3-in-1 product. So it's a fungicide, insecticide, and miticide. So again, ever since we started using this on our roses, on our trees, we haven't had a lot of issue, actually any issue. And then I can't believe we never really have issues with our annuals with aphids, and I'm so surprised this year that we are. So this is where we're going to be using to eradicate it. Before we spray, let me move my coffee. I'm actually running off of 3 hours of sleep just because I could not shut off my mind last night. Like, I am such a night owl, and I tell myself I want to be an early bird, but it just hasn't happened. And my mom always tells me when you have kids, it will happen. But let me tell you a quick little story. So I don't know if I've mentioned this before, but I was actually born in Brazil. And I went to a private school, and they would stagger the younger kids at what time they would come in. So one year I told my parents that I wanted to go to school in the morning, early morning. That way I had more time to play in the afternoon. Well, it was just like a nightmare for them. I mean, every morning it was just a battle to get me out of bed. And my grandpa is actually the one that would walk me to school every day. And he would just come up with the craziest stories to get me out of bed. He would tell me things like, oh, there's a circus there today. And, you know, so of course I would hop right out of bed when I heard that. But yeah, since I was little, I've always been a night owl and never an early person, but I hope to be one day. So anyways, but we are doing this in the morning, so I have my coffee in hand, and yeah, let's get spraying. Okay, before we get started, you want to make sure to really shake up your bottle. And also if you're using the concentrate, make sure to shake it really well. And you want to make sure that you're doing this either in the early morning or late evening, because our pollinator friends like to forage during the day, so we don't want to do anything to disturb them. And also you don't want the hot sun beating down on your plants when you're doing this, because it could potentially fry some of the leaves. So now we're going to make sure to drench the whole plant. You want to make sure that you hit every surface area of it. You want to hit the bottoms, underneath the leaves, all around, and every nook and cranny. So here we go. All right guys, well that's it for today's project. I also wanted to mention a few things. So this spray is made for organic gardening. So if you're someone like me who doesn't like to use any sort of harsh chemicals in their garden, this is the spray for you. You know, I think a lot of those synthetic sprays that you can find in stores today, they're full of really harsh chemicals, which can be harmful to your plants, but most importantly, it's harmful to your health. So always try to look for something organic like this product. I also wanted to say that there are some people out there that don't like to use any sort of like sprays, organic or synthetic, in their garden, which I completely understand. If you're not going to want to use this product or something similar to it, then what you could try using is just a hose to kind of hose off your plants. But the problem with that is you can't always get all of the aphids off. And if you're using a hose that has a really harsh jet, then you can damage some of your plants. So just kind of keep that in mind, especially with annuals. They're pretty tender. So for me to go in there and hose them off, I would probably end up just damaging them more than I would be doing good. So just, you know, keep that in mind. You can also use ladybugs, which I know a lot of us like to use. I've done that in the past, but the only issue is they never stay in my garden. You know, they'll kind of eat the aphids and then they'll just leave because there's not enough food for them. So what happens is I'll either get an infestation back, or maybe they didn't get everything, but they're already gone. So you have to rebuy them all over again. So for me, it's just easier and more cost effective to just buy the spray and take care of it that way. But I will link down below in the description box everything that we used in today's video. If you do try out the spray, please let me know how it works. I really stand behind it. I think it's magical, really. And I'm excited for you to try it in your garden if you're having the same issue as I am. Thank you guys so much for hanging out with me today, and I'll see you next time. Bye-bye. I think an aphid just fell into my coffee.